Hi, it's Ben from My Cycling Coach. Hope you're doing well and that you're having a great day. So I've been getting quite a lot of questions on the page recently about improving pedalling efficiency. So I've got 5 drills for you today, which you can take and start implementing straight into your training sessions and rides to improve your pedalling efficiency. So we'll get straight into it. Drill number 1 is a drill called pistons. And this is where you really dial in on ensuring that both your legs are working in that piston action, specifically looking at knee tracking and alignment and making sure that your knees are working in a real nice straight piston motion. Sometimes with cyclists we can see that the knees will wobble around a little bit, the knee tracking can be a bit all over the place, and if this is the case you are giving up quite a lot of power and obviously efficiency as part of your pedal stroke. So using the pistons drill to just really focus on that knee tracking and ensure your legs are working in that real nice piston motion, getting the knees aligned as best as possible is a great drill. There are a lot of things that will influence knee tracking and alignment. Your own anatomical differences can play a huge part in this as well, but you can improve it a little bit by working on it through specific drills. So drill number 1, pistons, give it a go. It's a great one to really start helping improving that efficiency as part of your pedal stroke. Drill number 2 then is called push-pulls. So this is where you really focus on having a nice constant pressure all the way around your pedal stroke. So you're keeping constant pressure on the crank as you perform that whole pedal stroke, and you will focus on both the pushing, so the downward stroke, and the pulling upward stroke, because what we can find, especially with relatively new cyclists, is that they will only focus on the downward stroke, so when you are pushing on the pedal, and they will give up or not really try to focus on that upward stroke when you should be trying to pull the pedal upwards. And if you're only applying or focusing on applying force to that downward stroke, then again, you are giving up half of your pedal stroke, which is going to be costing you a lot of power, or you're not maximizing that power from the full pedal stroke, and it's not as efficient as obviously utilizing that full pedal stroke. So push-pulls is where you will focus on pushing down with the ball of your foot on the downward stroke, and then as the pedal hits the bottom of the pedal stroke, you'll then try and pull up with the heel to utilize that upward stroke. Now, focusing on that upward stroke as well is also going to allow you to recruit other big muscles in the lower body, specifically the hamstring. So downward stroke has a lot of quad and glute focus in it, which again are really powerful big muscles, but the hamstrings are also very powerful muscles. So by really just focusing on that pulling phase or upward stroke, you're going to activate the hamstrings and again really get some increase the power, utilize more power of every pedal stroke and increase the efficiency. So drill number 3 then is left and right leg focus. Now, we probably all find we've got a stronger leg. We have this from childhood, you know, playing football, ball sports, or just everyone's really got a dominant side. So you can really start to look at, as part in your training sessions, just focusing on maybe doing certain intervals where you will maybe exaggerate pushing with one leg a little bit more. There are specific drills where you can actually unclip one leg and just focus on pushing with either the left or right, or pedaling with the left or right leg. However, if you're limited for training time, I probably wouldn't recommend this. I just recommend making sure that you stay clipped in with both legs. And as I say, you may then perform some intervals or certain time periods in your session where you will focus on pushing more with one side. I was always weaker on my left side. Over the years, I've managed to get this to almost balanced. I still have a bit of a discrepancy on my left leg, but just through spending a bit more time on that left leg has allowed me to balance this out. And again, maximise the pedal stroke, because if you've only got one side that's putting out more power and the other side isn't as efficient, then again that's going to affect your how much force you can apply with each pedal stroke on the bike. Drill number 4 then are torque exercises. So torque exercises are basically low cadence drills, or a period of time, an interval, where you will focus on dropping down to a cadence of between 50 and 65 RPM. These are really good for helping improve strength on the bike, raw strength, which can be, again, really helpful with improving your, force production capabilities on the bike, increasing your power output, and dropping in some torque intervals into your session. You may start off with just 1 to 2 minutes if you haven't done any sort of torque work before, because it can take a bit of time to get used to doing this sort of low cadence work. But yeah, building this in 50 to 65 RPM, looking at some real specific torque exercises, spending some time in those zones is going to help improve your strength, power, and again, pedaling efficiency. Drill number 5 then, at the other end of the scale from torque, is high cadence pedaling drills. So this is where you really will get over 100 RPM or more. You can even go up to 125 RPM with high cadence drills. And you can normally perform these as part of the session if you're doing any sort of sprint intervals, burst sessions where you may be doing a certain interval and then you might add in a 10-second burst where you'll do some high cadence sprint work. But it doesn't necessarily always have to be performed like this either. If you find that you tend to be a rider that grinds a lot of your riding out in those maybe lower cadence zones, so 70 to 80 RPM or even lower, then just by, in your recovery periods between intervals or in the cool down, just incorporating some higher cadence into those sections, going up to 100 RPM or more, just to spin the legs out, will help you recruit type 2 muscle fibers. These are the fast twitch muscle fibers. Get those firing a little bit and not just have the legs always grinding it out, stuck in those lower cadences. So yeah guys, there are 5 drills which you can start implementing straight into sessions. You've got pistons, we've got the push-pulls, we've got the left and right leg focus, torque exercises, and the high cadence burst drills, sprint drills, or as I say, just dropping in some higher cadence recovery intervals, and cool downs is going to allow you to just get the legs firing up a bit more. So yeah, hope you found this video useful. If you did, please drop a like on the post. Feel free to follow, share, subscribe, and any comments, as always, we'd love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your day, enjoy your riding, and speak soon.